Picture a 14-acre dealer lot. Rows of brand new vehicles, washed, waxed, priced, and absolutely nobody walking past them. The keys have not moved from the pegboard in 400 days. That is not a hypothetical. That is the real situation playing out right now across America. According to industry data, lot ROT is currently affecting $100 billion in unsold inventory every single month, and 12 specific models are doing most of the damage. I am talking about cars sitting so long that dealers are losing money on the floor plan interest just keeping the doors open. Some are luxury electric vehicles nobody asked for. One is an Italian SUV every German driver passes on. And number one on this list will take dealers over 4 years to clear at the current sales pace. Let's get into it. Number 12, Mercedes-Benz Sprinter Crew Van. The Sprinter has a starting price of $53,830, a sliding side door, 240 cubic feet of cargo space, and a 5,000-pound towing capacity. On paper, it is the most versatile commercial van Mercedes has ever sold. In reality, it has a market day supply of 366 days. That means, at the current pace of sales, it would take dealers a full calendar year to move the inventory sitting on lots right now. Here is the thing nobody admits about the Sprinter. It is mechanically excellent, but the buyer pool is microscopic. Contractors who actually need a crew van are buying Ford Transits at $20,000 less. Families who want a big people mover are buying Suburbans. The Sprinter sits in this weird middle ground where it costs Mercedes money but does not do anything a cheaper van cannot do for half the price. If you actually need one, you can probably walk into a Mercedes commercial dealer this afternoon and write your own number on the bottom of the contract. They want it gone. The Outlander has a base price of $29,995, which sounds fantastic until you tack on heated seats, all-wheel drive, a sunroof, and any of the trims people actually want. Suddenly, you are staring at a $40,000 window sticker on a Mitsubishi. Expensive. The average selling price on dealer lots right now is $37,116, and the market day supply is sitting at 372 days. I had a friend looking at one of these last fall. It is a 3-row SUV that seats 7, with a 12.3-inch touchscreen and a Yamaha 8-speaker sound system. He liked it. Then he priced out a Kia Telluride with similar equipment and realized he was paying Mitsubishi money for Kia bones, while a Telluride was offering a class-leading interior at the same price. He walked. That is the Outlander's problem in one sentence. It is not the best at anything. At a $37,000 average transaction price, buyers want best in class or nothing. Number 10. Jeep Wrangler 2-door. This one stings because the Wrangler is iconic. The 2-door Sport starts at $36,035, only about $3,000 less than the 4-door, and that is exactly the problem. For $3,000 more, you get an extra row of doors, more cargo room, and a vehicle your wife will actually let your kids ride in. Lease the 2-door Rubicon, and Jeep is asking $546 a month. Lease the 4-door Rubicon, and you pay $394 a month. The version that is cheaper to buy costs more to lease because residual values are collapsing. Jeep dealers have stacks of 2-doors they cannot move because the math does not work for anybody. Off-road purists want the short wheelbase, but those buyers are a tiny slice. Everyone else takes one look and walks 20 feet over to the 4-door. If you are a hardcore wheeler and you have always wanted a 2-door, your leverage right now is enormous. We are now entering luxury EV territory where the ROT gets serious. The Audi S E-tron GT starts at $127,700 and does 0 to 60 in 3.3 seconds. It is gorgeous, it is fast, and it is sitting on showroom floors because it shares a platform with the Porsche Taycan, which starts $22,000 cheaper. Let me say that again. The Audi costs more than the Porsche it is mechanically related to. The average selling price has crept up to $137,452 after dealer add-ons. Anyone with $130,000 to drop on an electric sedan is going to walk into a Porsche dealer instead, get the badge, and pocket the difference. Audi miscalculated badly. If you genuinely want this car and you are willing to ignore the Porsche, your dealer will deal hard. Number 8. The Alfa Romeo Stelvio. The Stelvio is a 280 horsepower Italian SUV. It accelerates from 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds, and it has a starting price of $48,995. Its market day supply is 421 days, which is over 14 months. Here is the killer. Stellantis, Alfa Romeo's parent company, has a reputation for reliability that scares buyers out of showrooms before they even sit down. The Stelvio competes directly against the BMW X5 and the Audi Q5, and when somebody is putting $50,000 on the line, they reach for the brands they trust. Repair shops will tell you the Stelvio is actually mechanically interesting, and the design genuinely stands out in a parking lot of identical German crossovers. But that is a hard sell when your car has a 3.5 out of 5 reliability score and your competitor has a 4-year proven track record. If you want one and you understand what you are signing up for, dealers are giving them away. Yes, Alfa Romeo shows up twice on this list. The Giulia is a compact executive sedan, starting at $43,995 with an average transaction price of $53,513 once options pile on. Market days of supply are 471 days. The Giulia is honestly one of the most beautifully designed sedans on the road. The interior has held up shockingly well across the generation, and its 280 horsepower turbo covers 0 to 60 miles per hour in 5.1 seconds. The problem is, the entire compact luxury sedan segment is dying. Everybody wants an SUV. The few buyers who still want a sports sedan are buying BMW 3 Series or Mercedes C-Class. The Giulia gets passed over for the same reason as the Stelvio, because of brand trust. Alfa cannot give them away. Number 6. Aston Martin DBX. Now we are in genuinely absurd territory. The Aston Martin DBX 707 starts at $236,000. It is the most expensive vehicle on this list, and dealers are sitting on a 522-day market day supply. Here is what happened. Aston Martin showed up to the luxury SUV party late. Porsche launched the Cayenne in 2002. Lamborghini brought out the Urus in 2018. Even Ferrari got into the game with the Puro Sangue in 2022. By the time Aston Martin launched the DBX in 2020, every wealthy buyer who wanted a 6-figure SUV already had one in the driveway. The DBX is a phenomenal performance SUV. We're talking 697 horsepower from a twin-turbo V8. But Aston Martin is fighting for table scraps in a saturated segment of the market. At this price point, discounts do not really move the needle because the buyer pool is so small, but if you have $236,000 burning a hole in your pocket, your dealer will roll out the red carpet. This one surprised me when I dug into the data. The Mach-E is actually outselling the regular gas Mustang Coupe at roughly 51,000 units a year. It is Ford's best-selling Mustang, and yet the current inventory has a market day supply of 548 days. How is that possible? Ford is overproducing. The base Select trim starts at $37,795. The top trim climbs to $57,690, and the interior is famously Spartan for the money. A Hyundai Ioniq 5 SE starts at $35,000, with a nicer cabin, faster charging, and arguably better range. Buyers walk into Ford showrooms, sit in the Mach-E, sit in the Ioniq 5 across the street, and the math gets ugly fast. Ford miscalculated demand by tens of thousands of units. Right now, every Mach-E on a dealer lot is bleeding money for them, which means it is a buyer's market on Ford EVs. If this kind of breakdown is helping you, hit subscribe. I do these every week, and the next 5 vehicles on this list are the ones where dealers are genuinely panicking. The third-generation Q5 launched last year, and Audi rolled out the sporty SQ5 alongside it, with 362 horsepower turbocharged V6 and a starting price of $65,400. Average transaction price after options, $76,357. Market day supply, 626 days. Audi's defense is that the SQ5 is barely a year old, so production ramped up before sales did. Maybe. But 73 units sold across 45 days is a brutal number for a brand that should be moving these in volume. The competition is fierce. The BMW X3 M50 is faster. Mercedes AMG GLC 43 has more cachet. The Genesis GV70 3.5T is $20,000 cheaper and offers a more luxurious interior. The SQ5 is good, but in this segment, good is not enough. If you want one, walk in with the BMW spec sheet in your hand and watch what happens to the price. Brace yourself for this number. The Toyota CHR is sitting at 1,178 days of market supply. That's over 3 years of inventory at the current pace of sales. Now there is a caveat. Toyota relaunched the CHR as a fully electric crossover earlier this year after killing the original gas version back in 2022 for, you guessed it, poor sales. So part of the slow movement is dealers ramping up inventory before buyers catch up. But here is the issue. The starting price is $37,000 for the base SE trim, and Toyota's own BZ electric SUV is bigger and costs $34,900. Toyota literally undercut its own CHR with a larger vehicle from the same showroom. Customers walk in, look at both, and pick the BZ every time. The CHR just sits. Toyota has a real problem on its hands, and you can taste the desperation in the negotiations. New model or not, 3 years of inventory does not move itself. The ID.4 has a starting price of $45,095 and a national market day supply that has bounced between 716 days and 1,295 days, depending on the report you read. But one critical detail changes everything. Volkswagen is reportedly ending United States production of the ID.4 at its Chattanooga plant. The vehicle is being killed off, and it may be replaced by an electric pickup truck. When a manufacturer announces it is winding down a model, dealers go into liquidation mode. Floor plan interest is brutal on a $45,000 electric vehicle that will not be supported with a successor. Reviewers have repeatedly called the ID.4 dull, with a clunky touch slider interior that buyers actively hate. The software has been buggy for years, and now there is no future generation to look forward to. If you want a cheap electric vehicle and you do not care about resale value, the ID.4 is the closest thing to a fire sale you will find on a new car this year. Dealers will hand them over below invoice just to clear the floor. Number 1. Polestar 4. This is the slowest selling new car in America right now. The Polestar 4, a luxury electric crossover starting at $57,800, has a national market day supply of 1,468 days, which is over 4 years. In California, that number balloons to 2,790 days, roughly 7.5 years of inventory. CARLYFE tracked just 16 units sold across the past 45 days nationwide. 16. The Polestar 4 is genuinely a weird car. It does not have a rear window at all. Polestar replaced the glass with a camera feed displayed on an interior screen, which sounds futuristic until you realize most drivers want to glance in a mirror. The brand has almost no dealer footprint, almost no service network, and almost zero name recognition outside of electric vehicle enthusiast circles. Combined with the fact that deliveries only began in December 2025, you have a perfect storm of a beautiful, fast, technologically interesting vehicle that almost nobody is buying. If you are willing to be the early adopter, the Polestar 4 is actually a fascinating piece of engineering. The single motor long-range trim gets around 300 miles of range. The interior is genuinely upscale, but the resale value on this car will be devastating, and the dealer experience is going to feel more like buying from a startup than a traditional automaker. So there it is, 12 vehicles literally rotting on dealer lots right now. From the Sprinter crew van at 366 days, all the way up to the Polestar 4 at 1,468 days. Some of these are sitting because they are flawed. Some are sitting because the segment is dead. And some are sitting because the manufacturer flat out misread the market. Opportunity is the common thread. When a dealer is paying floor plan interest every day on a unit that nobody wants, they will negotiate harder than you think. They will throw in extended warranties. They will eat the documentation fees. They will move on price in a way they never would on a hot seller. You just need to know which cars are sitting and walk in with the data in your hand. Next time you are on a lot and a salesperson tells you this one is selling fast, now you know how to check. If this video helped you, hit like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments which one of these 12 you would actually consider at the right price. I will see you in the next one. Drive safe.